Cape Cod Broadcasting weaves the listening environments of 99.9 WQRC, Ocean 104.7, WFCC Classical 107.5, Cape Country 104, and CapeCon.com's website experience to reflect the lifestyles of the people who live, work, and play on Cape Cod. We hope that you enjoy this podcast.
I'm Matt McCarthy, and this is Sunday Journal. Well, believe it or not, New Year's is almost upon us, and as we say goodbye to 2014, we welcome in 2015. One of the local celebrations on the Cape is Sandwich First Night, now in its third year. I'm joined by two of the organizers this morning, Melinda Gallant and Michael Magyar. Thank you so much for joining us, and a happy early New Year to you both.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Matt.
Thank
you.
Very exciting stuff. I guess overall, let's just start by talking about the event as a whole, and this question can be for you, Melinda, or for you, Michael. Just wondering if you can talk a little bit about Sandwich First Night as a whole.
Well, Sandwich First Night is in its third year. You are absolutely correct. It has a steering committee of great folks who help out with volunteers, who organize, of which Michael is a part of. And then it has co-chairs other than myself. It has Neil Aneri, Paula Johnson, and Mary Hunt. And we call ourselves the Four Czarinas. And we kind of oversee everybody and give it a labor of love. The event is on New Year's Eve, December 31st, in case somebody was wondering, in the village of Sandwich from 4 to 9 p.m. It starts at 4 o'clock. It is all over at 9 p.m. And we sell a button for $10 for adults, $6 for kids. And if you're under 3 and can sit on your mom's lap, you can come for free.
And the theme this year is Town of Giants. And Michael, I know you're very involved with that. Wondering if you could talk a little bit about this year's theme and about what people can expect.
Well, Matt, I'm really grateful that the first night took on this image. I mean, it's been kind of an endeavor for about 18 years. Every year I used to only do one a year. Sometimes it'd be a couple years lapse, and I did 1, did 2, 3, 4, 5, and all of a sudden the light bulb went off, and I started doing a whole bunch, and now they're all over town. And first night took it on, and I'm really honored that they took this, the idea of first nights and Giants together. So it's really, it's just a great thing to do. It's great to work with these kind of people that have this kind of energy to make something for the community to come and enjoy for this festivities. We have ice sculpture. We've got lanterns floating on the ponds. We had a wonderful parade. And so there's all these things and numerous other things I can't even begin to list.
For people who haven't seen these sculptures, wondering if you could just describe them.
They're very simple stick figures. And the neat thing is I'll do the metal work with the image. People give me an image. That's the only way to get on my list, is to give me an image. I work with that image. Sometimes I don't like it or it's not appropriate, and then we'll go back and forth. I'll finally get a finalized drawing. They approve it. And it's a stick figure that I lay down. I blow up my drawing to scale on the concrete pad I have, put a chalk line where the image is, and then lay and bend rebar, 3/4 inch rebar or 1/2 inch round stock, 3/8 to 1/4 inch, and make this figure. And then they pick it up or we deliver it, and they are in charge of lighting it. So all these people are doing these incredible lighting jobs on these figures. And they're just, you go to work in the morning, you don't see them. They just disappear. And you come back at 4 or 5 o'clock, and there they are. Like, where did that come from? And they just start popping up. And it's just so neat to go down the road, and it's dark, winter months, real kind of, lonely and dark. And then you see this thing in the distance, like, what is that? You come upon it, and it's overwhelming sometimes. And it's just a great way to bring holiday cheer to the people, and it's very public. Anyone, you don't need anything, just get in a car and drive, and it's just a great thing to do. I love doing it.
Do you know how many sculptures there are?
There's like 55 of them out.
And this is a whole community effort, as you said.
Yes, it's a really community effort. Everyone does a little bit, and a little bit's a lot, actually, to light some of these. People are really raising the bar with multicolored 6 shades, of lights. And
my personal favorite is the bunny at Thornton Burgess. I just want everyone to know.
Yeah, and then, people keep getting better and better at it. And last year was one, the Canning's service station. last year they didn't like it. It wasn't good enough. And they redid the whole thing this year, and it's beautiful.
Very cool. And so these are located all throughout town. Is it just on 6A, or is it just in Sandwich Village, or is it kind of spread out all throughout town?
It's mostly just in 6A and in Sandwich Village, where the majority. I've gone down Quaker Meeting House. There's a couple down there. West Barnstable, there's a couple. Cape Mitchell, the Lutheran Church are in West Barnstable. There's another pair of Angels in Dennis, actually. But I've really tried to concentrate in downtown Sandwich along 6A, where it's most visible for people to easily see them.
Well, we were known as Sandwich the Museum Town. Well, now we're going to be known as Sandwich the Glass Town, obviously. But now we're going to be known as Sandwich the Giant Town.
And this will all be on display for First Night Sandwich. That's what we're talking about this morning. I'm Matt McCarthy, and this is Sunday Journal, joined by Melinda Gallant and Michael Magyar. They're both involved in Sandwich First Night in its third year. And how have you seen this event grow? I mean, this is kind of the upstart, the Kickstarter, Cape celebration of New Year's. How have you seen this event grow over the past 2 years, and what are you expecting for this year's event?
Well, first of all, it has grown immensely. You never know what the weather's going to be. So, we always kind of cross our fingers. And as Michael said to me on our ride over here, let's just hope it doesn't rain, which, snow would be great. Cold is great, but rain would put a damper, no pun intended, on everything. But what we've seen this year is we are really going to have, because we have visual and performing artists both, we've had a step up in the quality of our artists. Not that any of them before weren't top notch, they were, but now we have artists calling us and asking us, gee, do you have a spot for me? Which is kind of neat. Everybody from a Bart Weissman, who has a fabulous jazz group, is known, regionally he's well known and has played on albums for famous people and singers. And we have the Mass Dance Project going to teach families how to dance together and have fun and be silly, and it's okay. We're going to have even our regular, we like to call him our regular in Sandwich, the country western star, Bobby Gage, will be playing. We've got other great bands like Sandwich Soul, a local group that is, they're award-winning high school singing troupe, and they actually are the glee of Sandwich. So we're excited to have them. So we've got all these different groups. We have crafts for kids. And then at 8 o'clock, we have our Revelers Parade. And we have people that are going to we're going to have walking giants, people dressed in giants. They're going to have giants on their shoulders, so they'll be 12 feet high, that are all lighted.
There'll be a big two candlesticks, a pair of candlesticks.
A pair of candlesticks. We've got a surfing down Main Street shark that is actually on a bicycle. You can't see the bicycle, but you can see the shark.
It's all lit up.
It's all lit up. It's great. We have people that put on costumes and wear elaborate headdresses. So it's a true art parade. It's all about art. It's all about performing arts, and it's all about bringing it to everyday folks. Come take a look. For $10, you can see a total of 80 performers.
Wow. So, for folks who are coming down, I think you mentioned it starts at 4. You've got bands, you've got crafts, everything that all leads up to the parade at 8 o'clock. And then I think you have a grand finale at the end of the parade, correct?
Yes, we do. And guess who would be in charge of that grand finale?
I don't know. Who?
It might be Michael.
That's really after the parade, which I think the parade is really the highlight of the whole day. Other than the ice sculptures that we'll have on the lawn of the library, after the parade, everybody gets kind of organized and settles down a little bit, and then we have an over 22, 23 foot lighthouse that we install on the green right next to the town hall. And we have 10 sea creatures, from a whale, shark, dolphin, crab, lobsters, jellyfish, turtles. All the creatures we find on the Cape are going to be lit up as a time countdown for the 9 o'clock hour, which is our kind of 12 o'clock hour. And then the thing lights up, the lighthouse lights up, 2015 lights up, a cannon goes off, there'll probably be some sparklers going off, And it's just a really neat event.
So very cool, kind of like your equivalent to the ball dropping in Times Square.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting because that always really bugged me that you're dropping a ball, you're going down. Everything should be going up. You know, the ball should go up. Not
Seems like a
down.
very pessimistic way to look at the new year, correct?
I know. I got to write a letter to New York.
Oh, let's have the other shoe drop.
So ours goes from the bottom and it goes to the top, and everything lights up at the top.
So the parade leads into the grand finale. Has the grand finale been different every year, or is it the same?
It keeps growing. Now, the time period has changed. Before, we would have it at 6 o'clock, and what we found out, people wanted to be able to go to those other to see other performers. So this year we've put it at 8 o'clock. We think it's a much better fit. And the other thing this year, which is so exciting, we are going to have glow-in-the-dark bocce ball, and we are also going to have an ice skating rink. So it's fun for family. Again, new things for family. Every year is new, and our fairy garden behind the Daniel Webster Inn is to die for.
And you had mentioned, the family-friendly aspect of this. The event runs from 4 until 9. It doesn't go until midnight. Maybe people with young kids. Is that kind of the reason you're ending it at 9? So folks, maybe with young kids, can get home a little earlier when it's not as cold. Is that the reason behind ending at 9?
Absolutely. We are a town that has a lot of families and a lot of kids. And because we're in the Upper Cape, we know that the area around us, both Plymouth and Bourne, and even into Barnstable Village, there are people with little kids. So we thought, well, why don't we have it start at 4, end at 9? That way they can send the kids home with Grandma and Grandpa who've come with them. What a nice family activity. And then Mom and Dad can go out to dinner, or Mom and Dad can go to a house party, or you can have a group of your friends over, have a house party, put the kids in the basement for a sleepover, and just wail away until after midnight.
Well, I'm Matt McCarthy. This is Sunday Journal. We're talking about Sandwich First Night. It's the third year of the event, of course, being held on New Year's Eve to ring in the new year. I'm joined this morning by Melinda Gallant and Michael Magyar. They're both involved in putting the event on. How many people are you expecting to come to Sandwich First Night?
Well, we always like to temper our amounts. But I would suggest that people get their buttons now at firstnightsandwich.org. You go online and order buttons. Plus, buttons are available at various locations throughout the town, and that's listed on our website.
And those buttons are basically your admission pass.
That's
correct?
it. So as I said, for $10, you can see all these performers. And even if you don't want to buy a button, although we need you to buy a button because it supports the activities, and we pay all of our artists. The committee does not get paid, but the artists performing all get something unless they give the money back to us. So that's very important to us that we sell buttons to be able to pay them. But also, if you don't buy a button, you can actually come and just walk around the streets and see the ice sculptures, see the event, the finale, the parade, all of that.
Floating lanterns on Champagne,
right.
And of course the finale. But, Melinda, every year we sell out buttons. We sell them out.
That's true,
There's
we
not
do.
one left. And they're kind of a collector's item. People collect every year. And it's becoming a little bit of a thing that people want to collect.
Absolutely.
So you should get your button early.
Well, and Robin Warples, a high school senior last year who's now in design school down in Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, she designed this year's buttons, and it's a tribute to the town of Giants.
How much money does it cost to put on this event?
Thousands of dollars. And we have great sponsors, and we have great media sponsors, of which Cape Cod Broadcasting is one, and we appreciate that. But we also have sponsors from the community, and we couldn't do it without them. But you know where we get most of our money? Is little money, and we call little money those $10 button sales. Without that, we couldn't put this on at all.
This strikes me as a really big community event. Michael, as you had alluded to earlier, how many volunteers do you have working on this event?
Well, we have a committee of 12, but not all of us are at the committee meetings all the time, so we don't see each other. Plus, the police and fire, the town fathers, from the town manager to his administrative assistant, we're all working on this together. We probably the night of will have somewhere between 50 and 60 volunteers, and then we have almost 80 performers.
And Michael, what is it like? Obviously, Town of Giants is this year's theme. You're a huge part of that with your sculptures. I mean, what is it like, to be an artist and to be contributing so much to an event like this?
Well, it's very rewarding, actually, to do something small. Like, it's been an 18-year project. And little by little, every year I'd make one. And some years was very prolific. I did 8 or 9. I've done 11 this year. So I jumped on it a little early this year when it was a little warmer outside. And it's very rewarding to do something small and have it turn into something huge. And everyone that lights the sculptures are really the major part of it. They're the ones that bring it all together. And it becomes, like I said, a community thing that anyone can drive down 6A or through downtown Sandwich or able to watch. And it brings a lot of joy, I think, to a lot of people. So it's a little overwhelming this year, and I'm finally trying to get used to the attention because I just kind of want to go back to my studio and work. And
spoken like a true artist, right?
So it is a little overwhelming, and I'm trying to take it in stride. But it's just a wonderful. I get so many great compliments on how wonderful it is for people to drive down this dark, dreary, road and then to see this beautiful sculpture that people put together and light up.
And we've talked a lot about how this is a big community event, a big member of the Sandwich community and a big member of our community here at Cape Cod Broadcasting. Dave Reed will once again be a part of the event this year.
Oh, my gosh. We couldn't do it without Dave Reed. Dave has been our finale person, MC, actually, the last 2 years. This year, we found a place for him where he could actually be warm, which would be nice
I'm
for
sure
him.
He'll appreciate that.
Yes, he will. But, I mean, he's still, our number one go-to guy, but we're kind of making him emeritus, MC emeritus, and we actually are putting him in the best location. He is going to be the venue of Town Hall in Sandwich, the beautiful restored Town Hall stage, and he's going to be our master of Town Hall. He's going to be talking to the people, letting people who come up there know what's going on throughout the community and the times, and introducing the acts that are performing there. Again, we couldn't do it without Dave.
And unfortunately, we're just about out of time, but quickly before we go, just overall pieces of advice for people who are coming down who might not have come down before, parking, how to get there, just kind of overall pieces of advice for coming down to Sandwich first night.
Bring a flashlight. Dress warm. You can park at the Wing School, but it's a little bit. It's probably a block and a half from Wing School up. There'll be other parking areas along the street, etc. Daniel Webster Inn parking lot will be closed and only for their customers, but there are other parking areas in the town. Sandwich Glass Museum will have a parking area, etc. So I just recommend everybody come down early. Come early. Grab a bite to eat at a local restaurant. Go into a local shop, say hello, grab a cup of coffee, bring your flashlight, dress warm, and you'll have a ball.
Well, Sandwich First Night scheduled for New Year's Eve, starting in Sandwich Village at 4 o'clock. Michael Magyar and Melinda Gallant, thank you so much for joining us here today on Sunday Journal, and have fun and Happy New Year to you both.
Thank you, Matt.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
I'm Matt McCarthy, and this is Sunday Journal.
This podcast is a presentation of Cape Cod Broadcasting, which is solely responsible for its content. Thank you for listening. For more information, please visit us at capecodbroadcasting.com.